All right, we've got some breaking news coming in right now. The Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is endorsing former President Trump. Let's go to CNN's chief congressional correspondent, Manu Raju. He's joining us from Capitol Hill with the latest. Update our viewers, Manu.
Yeah, this has actually been more than 3 years since Senator McConnell spoke to Donald Trump. At that time, he's acknowledged, Mitch McConnell did in December of 2020, that Joe Biden had won the presidential election, and that prompted Donald Trump to be to essentially cut off all ties with the Republican leader. Then in the aftermath of January 6th, Mitch McConnell pointedly blamed Donald Trump for those actions, calling him morally and practically responsible for the events on January 6th. But so they have not had any real ties or discussions, and he has not endorsed them up until now in the aftermath of Nikki Haley stepping aside from the SWIT race. The Republican leader issuing a statement saying that he will in fact endorse Donald Trump for the presidency. I'll read you some of his statement, Wolf. He said it's become abundantly clear that former President Trump has earned the requisite support of Republican voters to be our nominee for President of the United States. He said it should come as no surprise that as nominee, he will have my support. He goes on to talk about how they work together on issues involving the tax overhaul that passed in Congress, as well as Mitch McConnell's role in ensuring three of Trump's Supreme Court justices were confirmed to the bench. He says, I look forward to the opportunity of switching from playing defense against the terrible policies the Biden administration has pursued to a sustained offense geared towards making a real difference and improving the lives of the American people. So, Wolf, this is the Republican leader has oftentimes just refused to even say Donald Trump's name for the past several years. You ask him a question about Donald Trump, he said that he does not want to talk about the presidential race. Trump, in fact, has leveled attack after attack against Senator McConnell after those comments that McConnell made on the Senate floor, blaming him for January 6th. In fact, Trump leveled a number of racist attacks, too, against his wife, a Taiwanese immigrant, someone, Elaine Chao, who was the cabinet secretary under Donald Trump himself. Chao, of course, stepped aside in the aftermath of January 6th. So they have a very tense relationship, really no relationship whatsoever. But McConnell has indicated for some time that whoever the nominee is of his party, he will fall in line and back the Republican nominee, and that's exactly what he is doing here. Of course, Mitch McConnell will not be working with Donald Trump if Trump is elected as president. McConnell's already said he would step aside from the leadership position that he has held for the past 17 years and give way to other potential candidates. And two of those Republicans who are running right now, John Cornyn and John Thune, both of them have endorsed Donald Trump as well. I just caught up with Senator John Thune, the number 2 Republican who wants to take McConnell's job. He downplayed some of his past concerns he had about Donald Trump's viability as a candidate in the suburbs, and Thune has for some time, Wolf, expressed concerns about how Trump could play in key battleground states, particularly as they try to regain the Senate's in the fall, Wolf. But he downplayed those, rallied behind Donald Trump, said that there'll be a unified ticket in the fall. Really shows you how the party establishment now lining up behind Donald Trump in the aftermath of his victory here. Now the presumptive nominee with the support of the Senate Republican leader.
And we'll see how that battle for the Senate Republican leadership plays out. Manu Raju, good reporting as usual. Jim.
All right, thank you, Wolf. And joining me now is former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, a former Republican candidate in this year's presidential race. Governor, thanks so much for joining us. I do want to ask you about Nikki Haley dropping out of the race, but there is some more breaking news to talk about. That's what Manu Raju was just talking about a few moments ago. Mitch McConnell now endorsing Donald Trump. What do you make of that?
Well, it surprises me, actually, because he's not going to be running for re-election. There wasn't any motivation. I think it really indicates the draw of the team. We've been on the Republican team all our life. It's hard to switch from that. It's hard to say we're not going to support the nominee of the party. It's very difficult for me as well. And so it is a surprise, that announcement today from Senator McConnell, because he's been very, very clear in the past as to holding Donald Trump morally responsible for January 6th and his disagreement with them. So I don't think that you can overlook that even as you look to the future. I thought Nikki Haley's announcement today was classy, and hats off to her for running a good race and for staying in there through Super Tuesday.
Yeah, and Governor, I do want to ask you about that because Nikki Haley made it very clear when she announced that she's withdrawing from the race that, she has her supporters and she is not yet inclined to endorse Donald Trump. And I think what she wants to hear is something of an olive branch coming from the former president, which is obviously going to be a tough sell. I mean, what is your sense of it? The president, President Biden, is already making an appeal for those Nikki Haley supporters. What do you think those supporters are going to do?
Well, I think they're going to be divided. Some are going to sit it out. Some will be focusing on congressional and Senate races. Others might switch to Biden. Many of them will go to Donald Trump because they have historically supported the nominee of the party. So it'll be divided, and they're up for grabs. And so, yes, it's incumbent upon Donald Trump to do his job as a front runner and reach out to them. And for example, with Nikki Haley, you would think the obvious thing is that you'd reach out, you'd say, I know you've got to think about this, but we want you to make a primetime speech during the convention. We value you, and negotiate her support. Obviously, she wants to be able to showcase her ideas and make that case at the convention, and she should be able to do that. And Donald Trump can bring her in with that kind of outreach, perhaps.
And Governor, I did want to ask, you have refused to endorse Donald Trump for president. If I'm not mistaken, that hasn't changed. What is your mindset on all of that? Any chance you could change your mind?
Well, it's very troubling to me. First of all, I mean, I said very clearly, I think Donald Trump is the wrong direction for our party and our country. I endorse Nikki Haley. I want to see what comes out of the convention, but do not expect an endorsement from me for Donald Trump in this election. I'm a loyal Republican. I'm going to fight hard this year, but we see the establishment now becoming Donald Trump, and it's a direction that I don't want to see our party go or our country go.
You're not there yet.
I'm not there yet, and it's very clear whenever you look at our relationship with our allies, whenever you're looking at the incredible challenges that he faces with his court case and its alleged criminal conduct. This is not something that I, as a former federal prosecutor, can sign up for. And so don't expect that to happen as we go forward.
All right, Governor Hutchinson, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be with you.
Strong words from the governor, indeed.
Absolutely.
We're continuing our breaking news coverage this morning. Nikki Haley suspending her 2024 presidential campaign. Listen to this.
In all likelihood, Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee when our party convention meets in July. I congratulate him and wish him well. It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him. And I hope he does that.
And with Nikki Haley's departure, the Trump-Biden rematch is now set. Let's discuss this with CNN senior political commentators Anna Navarro and Van Jones and Republican strategist Shermichael Singleton. Anna, give me your bottom line assessment right now of what's going on.
I think today was a reality check. What we're seeing is a Republican reality check. Look, I think there's a lot of Republicans who don't want to vote for Donald Trump, who saw in Nikki Haley a life raft. A lot of them weren't Nikki Haley voters, but she was the vehicle to issue that protest vote. She was what stood in between them and Donald Trump. It is now absolutely the reality that this is a binary choice between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I am not surprised that Mitch McConnell has come out and endorsed him. We all know Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump hate each other. It's mutual. But Mitch McConnell has been a Republican his entire life. His reason of being, his raison d'etre, is partisanship, is getting Republicans elected. And what he is signaling with this is, look, I hate the guy, but I'm drinking my medicine because I am a party guy. I think Asa Hutchinson is absolutely right. There's going to be some Republicans who come back home. Do never underestimate Republicans' ability to do that. They did that after we heard, a lot of Republicans did that after we heard Donald Trump on those Access Hollywood tapes. Some of them will not vote. and some of them will vote for Biden. I would be shocked if a Liz Cheney came out and endorsed Trump. I would be shocked if a Mitt Romney came out and endorsed Trump. If Nikki Haley or Mitch McConnell do, that to me is not shocking.